Hi guys, welcome back from spring break. I hope you and your family enjoyed a couple of weeks away from e-learning. And now we're going to ramp up to finish out the quarter. So our next activity in Medical Detectives is a pretty easy one today. We're going to come into here, we're going to go down to Unit 1. So go into Unit 1 Vital Signs. And then the next thing you're going to click on is 1.3 Disease Agents. And now that we're here, you're going to learn about a little boy, 6 years old, been rushed into an emergency room. He's a little tired. He's too weak. He's got a fever. So we're going to bring him in, and the nurse is going to take his vital signs, and they're going to create for you a medical file. That medical file is located right here. What I want you to do is download that medical file and then drag it into Notability. I've already taken it into Notability for the sake of this video for speed. And so here's what we need to do. The first thing when we get one of these files, and there's going to be a number of these between now and the end of the quarter, is we need to identify the things that just don't look right. So you see I've got my red highlighter up there. Well, a temperature of 103.5. That is definitely not good. The blood pressure 90/72 is normal. You learned about this in our last vital signs activity before break. The pulse is a little high, and the respiratory rate should be somewhere around 18 to 20, so that's kind of high as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to read through this. I'm not going to do all of these for the sake of, again, speed on this video. You can finish this out. But what you want to do here is highlight the things that are not normal. So patient is previously a healthy 6-year-old boy. He says he's hot and tired. So that's probably not normal. Hot and tired, and points to his chest. He came home from school 5 days ago, thought he had a cold, but his symptoms have gotten worse. He's had a constant fever over the past few days, but he's complained about being cold. There's a term for that in the medical world. When you've got a fever but you're cold, we call that having the chills. Okay? He has a dry cough. It gets worse at night. Struggling to breathe. So you're going to finish this document out, and you're going to highlight all the things that are red flags, things that don't look good. When you're done, you're going to come back to our Canvas page, and it's time to come down here to agents that make us sick. Okay, so you're going to keep that Notability, that medical file for our little patient over here on the side, and you're going to learn about 3 different agents that make us sick. Here's the document. You're actually going to hand this in. This is part of what you're going to hand in for this activity. You're going to learn about viruses. That's pretty popular in the news these days. Bacteria and fungi. Okay? You're going to learn about each one of them. You basically read it. You tell me the answer. So you're obviously going to have to bring this into Notability as well. So you'll read this about viruses, and ironically, and this is not planned, this is just the way it is, they have the coronavirus as their example up there. It's kind of like they knew. That's not mine. That belongs to Project Lead the Way, so that's kind of weird. And then you're going to select all the statements that are true. You will write all the answers in this box that are true about viruses. And then you're going to move down to bacteria and do the same thing. Read about the bacteria. All the statements that are true about bacteria, you're going to put in this box. And then the same thing with fungi. Okay? Write all the answers there. All right, so once you've done that, you're going to hand that in. You're going to submit that to me. And then you're going to go back to Canvas. And then it's time to diagnose our little boy. Now, a lot of the things that we're going to be working with this quarter will require the use of what we call the disease dictionary. It's right here. Again, I've already pre-downloaded it. There's a number of activities, or a number of infections. Like right up here, you can see this is our Campylobacter infection. We also have cholera. And it kind of gives you a bunch of information. It tells you that it's a bacteria. It has an incubation period of 12 hours to 5 days. You've probably heard a lot in the news lately about incubation periods. That is the time that from when I'm exposed to it, the time that I start feeling symptoms. Okay, so 12 hours to 5 days for cholera. The common cold, 1 to 3 days. So if you sneeze on me and you have just a common cold, anywhere between 1 to 3 days, I could also start getting a cold as well. So you're going to compare all of our little boy's symptoms and you're going to narrow down in the disease dictionary what you think our little boy has. Okay, and there's like 11 or 12 of these in here. It's one of these, I promise you. And it can only be one. There's a couple that are close, so you're going to have to do a little fine-tuning or diagnosing detail work. So that's what you'll do. And then you're going to come back. Before you, actually I told you to hand this in earlier. You're not going to hand this in quite yet. Underneath fungi, I want you to diagnose. I want you to tell me what you think the little boy has based upon what you find in the dictionary. Okay? So, real quick, one more time, you're going to go to our page. You're going to read about the 6-year-old boy. You're going to download the medical file, put it into Notability, highlight all the things that are weird about this little boy, things that might give us clues as doctors. Come back to this. You're going to learn about agents that can make us sick. Again, drag this into Notability. Read about the virus, bacteria, and fungi. Read about them. Don't turn it in yet until you get a chance to come back to, the disease dictionary. Compare the symptoms that the little boy has to the information that you see on this. Make a diagnosis. Come back to our agents that make us sick. And right here at the bottom underneath fungi, I want you to tell me which one of those diseases or sicknesses or illnesses, I should say, that our little boy has got. Okay? That's what you're handing in. So the only thing you're actually turning in to me is this document, agents that can make us sick. Again, one more time, for third time's a charm. Everything filled out with the questions. And then underneath fungi, right in here, you're going to write what our little boy has. All right? See you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye.